Labour got voted in off 9 million people. What about the 19 million people who didn't vote? They're the 19 million people from our backgrounds who are fed up, feel alienated, feel betrayed.
Tommy Robinson shares his strong new critique of Keir Starmer. All right, listen closely, because this moment caught a lot of people off guard. You're not going to believe what just dropped, and honestly, the timing of it couldn't be more intense. While everyone was busy arguing about Labour's latest policy moves, Tommy Robinson suddenly released a long, heated message directly aimed at Keir Starmer, and it is already exploding across social media. People are replaying it, pausing it, debating it. Because this isn't just another political rant, this one hit a nerve. And right now, whether you agree with Tommy Robinson or not, the reaction is undeniable. So here's how it unfolded. Early this morning, Robinson published a new video where he laid out, point by point, his concerns about Keir Starmer's leadership, his direction for the Labour Party, and what he believes the public is missing in the conversation. No interviews, no panels, just Robinson giving his perspective and sending it straight into the digital firestorm. And he didn't waste any time getting into it. Within the first minute, he said something that immediately pulled viewers in. People deserve honesty, and right now, a lot of them feel like they're not getting it. That line alone triggered a wave of responses. But what really pushed things over the edge was the way he tied Starmer's political choices to what he calls a growing disconnect between leadership and everyday citizens. Robinson argued in his own words that many communities feel unheard, and he questioned whether Starmer is paying attention to the concerns coming from outside Westminster. Now, whether people agree with him or not, the message landed in a tense political moment. Labour has been navigating backlash over economic decisions, internal disputes, and a rising tide of online criticism coming from multiple sides. So Robinson stepping in with a long, emotional breakdown? It was the perfect spark in a room already filled with gasoline. Within minutes, the comment sections were flooded. One viewer posted, "I don't always agree with Tommy, but he's saying out loud what many are thinking quietly." Another said, "Starmer needs to address this. Silence won't help." And then there were comments from the opposite side, two people who strongly pushed back. "This is exaggerated. Starmer has his flaws, but this isn't the full picture." Robinson always knows how to stir the pot, but context matters. On Twitter, things escalated even more. A journalist from a major UK outlet tweeted, "Like him or not, Robinson understands timing. Dropping this critique now guarantees maximum attention." Even political insiders chimed in. One Labour strategist, speaking anonymously to an online news page, reportedly said, "This is the last thing the leadership wants right now. We're trying to control the narrative, and this throws everything off." So yes, the message didn't land softly. Here's the real question. Why is this even making such an impact? Because whether you support Robinson or completely disagree with him, he speaks to a segment of the public that feels historically shut out of political conversation. And every time he posts something, it taps directly into an emotional current in British politics. His critique focused heavily on themes like political transparency, trust between leadership and the public, cultural frustration, what he calls ignored communities, and the widening gap between political elites and everyday people. These aren't new ideas, but the way he delivers them, raw, emotional, unfiltered, gives them traction. Meanwhile, Starmer's team has been trying to project stability and control. So when Robinson drops something like this, it disrupts that image, even if it's just for a moment. A political analyst on a radio show put it perfectly. Starmer's strength has always been predictability. Robinson's strength is unpredictability. You can't prepare for unpredictability. And that's exactly what we're seeing unfold. This isn't only about Tommy Robinson. And it's not only about Keir Starmer. This is about a country where people feel polarized, suspicious, and worn out by constant political noise. Everything is heated. Everything is emotional. Everything is amplified. So when one high-profile figure criticizes another, the reaction isn't measured, it's explosive. You have people who feel betrayed by traditional politics, others who believe Starmer is the country's best chance at stability, and a massive middle group that's just tired of promises, tired of drama, tired of leaders who feel out of reach. Robinson tapped right into that exhaustion. And Starmer, whether intentionally or not, suddenly finds himself pulled into another wave of public scrutiny. This is why the story is picking up so much traction. Where does this go from here? That's the question everyone is now asking. Will Starmer respond? Will Labour try to ignore the noise? Will the media amplify Robinson's comments further? A former Conservative communications advisor said, "If Starmer says nothing, people will read into the silence. If he responds, it becomes a headline. Either way, the issue grows." And they're right. Right now, this moment is less about the details of the critique and more about the political impact of it. This is a test of political messaging, a test of leadership under fire, a test of how quickly something said online can reshape the national conversation. So here's where we stand. Tommy Robinson has thrown down a challenge, not a personal attack, but a strong public critique that millions are now dissecting. Keir Starmer's team is watching closely, weighing whether to step in or stay silent. Social media is in full storm mode. Commentators are sharpening their takes. And the real question, the one hanging over all of this, is simple. If this is just the beginning, how much louder is the conversation going to get? Because in politics, the first message starts the fire. But it's the reaction that becomes the story. And right now, that reaction hasn't even peaked.